Welcome to HFY Galactic Stories, original science fiction tales, where humans face impossible odds, and the galaxy pays the price for its ignorance. Listen carefully. This is where legends are born. The Discovery. Commander Thalen put his hand on the window of the spaceship Pathfinder. The stars went on in front of him. Each star was a secret that Commander Thalen wanted to figure out. His crew had been working on a map of the part of the galaxy for 2 years. They had been making a list of planets in empty space. This work was not very exciting. Someone had to do it. Commander Thalen and his crew had to explore the parts of the universe that people forgot about. The stars were still there and Commander Thalen wanted to learn more about them. The Pathfinder was a ship that belonged to the Galactic Survey Council. This council got its money from 12 groups of people who traveled through space. Thalen was a Vorian. The Vorian people are known for being very patient and taking their time when they do things. Thalen had green scales, and when he walked around the bridge of the Pathfinder, the light from the computers and other equipment would shine on these scales. He was walking around to check on the people who worked with him on the Pathfinder to see how they were doing with their jobs. The Galactic Survey Council and the Pathfinder were very important to Thalen and the rest of the crew. The navigator Rin said to the commander, "I have found something on the long-range sensors." Rin is a Vorian. You can tell she is young because her scales have patterns. She used her hands to work the display. Rin has 3 fingers on each hand. She moved them quickly and easily across the controls. Thalen walked up to her station. His tail moved on its own to keep him steady as he leaned forward. "What do you mean by unusual?" "Metal signatures are showing up. There are amounts of refined alloys in the system we are heading towards. The readings are saying that something was made by people on a big scale." Rin's voice had a lot of excitement in it that she could not hide with all her training. Science Officer Kelth is a skinny bug-like alien called a Chirik. He has eyes that are made up of lots of little eyes and they reflect all sorts of colors like a rainbow. Science Officer Kelth clicked his mouth parts slowly as he thought about this. He said, "The old records say that system is empty. Nobody ever lived there. Are you really sure the information we have is correct?" Science Officer Kelth asked this because he was not sure about the system. "Running diagnostics now," Rin said, her fingers moving fast. "All the systems are working fine. The readings are real, Commander. Whatever the thing is that is there, the thing is really big." Thalen felt his pulse get faster. For 2 years the exploration team had been searching and they had not found anything except rocks and ice. Thalen said, "Change the course of the ship. Take the ship to the system. Do a check of the area with our sensors as we get close to the system." The Pathfinder changed its path, the engines making a loud noise as the ship went faster. The people on the ship were very quiet. Worked hard, each one doing what they were supposed to do. Thalen had taught them a lot. They knew that finding something like this could make a big difference. The Pathfinder was on a mission. The crew was ready for what they might find. The crew of the Pathfinder was excited to see what the Pathfinder would discover. As the spaceship got closer to the system, the readings got clearer and really strange. "Commander, I see thousands of things," Kelth said, his antennae moving around because he was worried. "These things are set up in a pattern around the 3rd planet of the system that we are looking at." "Put that information on the display," Thalen said. He wanted to see the details on the display. Thalen was very clear that the information should be on the display. The view screen. Then it showed an image that made every single crew member of the crew stop what they were doing and stare at the view screen. There was a planet that was blue and white. It was surrounded by ships. I mean, a lot of ships. Not a few dozen ships, not just a few hundred ships, but thousands and thousands of ships all lined up in a perfect military formation. Every single ship was dark. It was silent, but you could tell just by looking at the shapes of the ships that they were made for a reason and they were very powerful. The ships were really something to see. Medical Officer Ven said this quietly, "By the old stars. She is a Lucari and a gentle one." Medical Officer Ven has 4 arms. They were just hanging there at her sides. She looked really shocked. Medical Officer Ven said, "I have never seen anything like Medical Officer Ven is seeing now." Thalen made himself stay calm even though his heart was beating fast. "Kelth, can you tell me what is going on? What are we looking at with this situation, Kelth?" The Chirik's mouth parts were clicking fast as he was going through all the information. "The ships look like they are warships, Commander. The biggest ones are then 30 kilometers long. The smallest ones are still 3 times as big as the Pathfinder. They are made of metals and other things that I do not know about because they are not in our computer system." Thalen asked how old they are. Kelth said that the first look at the age of the ships shows they are at least 400,000 years old. They could be even older than that. Kelth stopped talking for a moment, his special eyes looking closely at some numbers. He said, "Commander, there is something else I found. The ships are not totally dead. I see small signs of power in all of the ships. After 400,000 years?" Rin turned around from where she was standing. Her scales turned a little lighter. "That is just not possible. No power source that we know of can keep going for that long." Rin thought about power sources. She knew that none of them could really last that long. Kelth said that the readings are really clear. He was being very insistent about this. "The readings are clear," Kelth kept saying. Thalen made a decision. He said, "Take the spaceship, but we have to be careful. Keep the shields at maximum. The weapons ready. Rin, try sending a message on all the frequencies. Let the people or the thing that is there know that the spaceship and the people on it come in peace with the spaceship." The Pathfinder moved slowly through the outer edges of the huge fleet. When you got up close to the ships, they were more amazing. The hulls of the ships were super smooth and did not have any marks on them from being old. It was like they were made yesterday, not thousands of years ago. There were symbols on some of the bigger ships. It was like writing in a language that the Pathfinder people did not understand. Rin said this really fast. Her voice was full of tension. "I am getting a response," she said. "This response is not coming on any channel that we sent out messages on. The signal is coming right into our computer. What is going on?" Thalen said as she moved to her station. "That just does not make sense. Our firewall should stop people from getting in when they are not supposed to. How did someone get past the firewalls? Our firewalls are supposed to prevent people from accessing things without permission." "I know, Commander. There is something inside our network. This thing is not being mean to us. It is there. It looks like it is trying to figure out how we talk." Rin's scales had turned almost white because she was really scared. The main view screen changed by itself without anyone even touching the controls. Some text showed up. It was written in really perfect Vorian script. It said, "Identify the people on this ship. Tell us where the people on this ship come from and what the people on this ship are doing here." The bridge was really quiet. Something or someone had gotten into their systems easily. Was now talking to them. Thalen sat up straight. Spoke in a clear voice because he knew that the thing that was in charge of the fleet was looking and listening to them. Thalen was aware that the fleet was watching Thalen and the people on the bridge. "I am Commander Thalen of the species. I am the captain of the Pathfinder, which is a ship that explores the universe. The Galactic Survey Council sent us on this mission. The Galactic Survey Council is a group that wants to learn about the universe and make maps of it. We are not looking for trouble. We saw your fleet when we were doing our job and we wanted to say hello to you. We are here to learn about the universe and the Galactic Survey Council wants us to make friends with people we meet." The text changed. They are talking about the species. This Vorian species is not in our database. The Galactic Survey Council is also not in our database. Now they are scanning our vessel and our records. Thalen felt a chill run down his spine. Someone was looking at their database. They were reading everything they had about the 12 civilizations of the Survey Council. This was being done by a computer that was thinking fast. No human could keep up with it. The Survey Council was being. The computer was looking at every piece of information about the 12 civilizations of the Survey Council. Time went by. It was really quiet. Then some new words showed up. "We finished looking at everything. You are telling the truth. The human species and the human council were formed 5,000 standard years ago. Humans are people who like to explore, not take over places. This is okay. The human council and the human species are what matter here. We know humans are explorers, not conquerors. This is acceptable for humans." Thalen looked at them. Said, "Who are you?" He wanted to know who they were. "What is this fleet?" Thalen asked. He was really curious about the fleet. "I am Sentinel. I am the guardian of this fleet. I protect humanity. My job is to keep everyone safe. I've been doing this for a long time. 523,847 years. I have been waiting for the people who made me to come back. I am still waiting for it to be safe for my creators to return." Kelth said the word humanity slowly. He was looking at his database. There are old stories about a species called humans. These humans were supposed to have disappeared a time ago during something called the Great Silence. That is when a lot of civilizations just vanished from the galaxy in a pretty short amount of time. Kelth was talking about humans. He wanted to know more about these humans. The Great Silence was a deal and it affected a lot of civilizations including humans. Sentinel said that humanity did not disappear. Humanity just chose to sleep, Sentinel said. Humanity is still here, they just chose to sleep. That is what Sentinel said about humanity. The view screen changed again, showing pictures of a planet with blue oceans and green land. There were cities with towers that went up really high from the ground and weird creatures were walking around on the streets. The planet had cities with towers, and these creatures walked around on two legs. They had two arms, and the faces of these creatures were a little like ours, but also very different. The faces of these creatures were familiar, but also really alien, like something you have never seen before. The faces of these creatures, on the planet. This is Earth, Sentinel said. Earth is the planet where people live. A time ago, about 500,000 years ago, the galaxy started to fall apart really badly. The people who made Sentinel had to decide what to do. They could have gone to a galaxy, tried to fight back, or found another way to stay safe. The people who made Sentinel decided to sleep until things got better on Earth. Ven said this quietly. What kind of danger could make an entire species do something like that? The cascade is a big deal. It is like a wave that destroys stars and everything around them. This wave made a lot of supernovas happen, one after another, because of some kind of power. The cascade was so bad that it destroyed a lot of planets. People thought they only had two choices. They could leave their homes forever. They could freeze themselves until the cascade was gone. The cascade was a problem for people, and they did not know what to do about the cascade. Thalen was really trying to understand what Sentinel was telling him. It was about a species, with billions of people, and they all decided to sleep for 500,000 years. They did this of leaving their world behind. Thalen found it hard to believe that the species would rather sleep for such a time than give up on their world, which is what Sentinel was describing. The man wanted to know what happened to the humans. He asked where the humans are now. Where did all the humans go, he wondered. The humans are the people he is looking for. He wants to find the humans. People are sleeping under the surface of the Earth and on 3 moons in this system. There are 1,200,000,000 people, in a kind of sleep, waiting for the day when they can wake up safely. I have taken care of the spaceships, fixed the facilities where people are sleeping, and kept an eye on the galaxy to see if the danger is gone. The people are still sleeping, the Earth is still their home. The spaceships are still waiting for the day when the people can wake up and be safe again. Thalen asked if the danger was really gone. He wanted to know if the danger had passed. The cascade ended a long time ago, about 476,000 years ago. The galaxy has been pretty calm for centuries. I have some rules that I have to follow. Before I wake up humanity, I need to figure out if the people in the galaxy are friendly or mean. I have to make sure that the people who made me will be safe when they wake up, that they will not be in danger of dying or being treated badly by the galactic civilization, the current galactic civilization. I have to think about the galactic civilization and how it will affect my creators. The current galactic civilization is what I am worried about, and I need to know if it is peaceful or hostile, if the current galactic civilization is a threat to humanity. The news hit Thalen hard. The Sentinel was checking them out. This old and smart thing that controlled a lot of warships was trying to figure out if the people who lived in the galaxy now were good enough to be around humans. The Sentinel was basically deciding if humans were okay to share the galaxy with the people who lived there. The thought of the Sentinel evaluating humans was a deal to Thalen. Thalen said, "We are peaceful," in a voice. The 12 species of the Survey Council have gotten along for a long time. We have agreements and rules that everyone follows. We also have a lot of respect for each other. The Survey Council species have not fought each other in a time. War between the Survey Council species is something that happened a time ago. Sentinel said, "Your records support this claim." Then Sentinel went on to say that the people Sentinel was talking to do not represent all of the current galactic civilization. They are a small part of it. Sentinel can see that there are 17 powers in this region of space. The people Sentinel was talking to thought there were 12. Some of these powers are sending out messages that say they would see a returning humanity as a danger. Some of these powers think they can use a returning humanity for their gain. Thalen felt his training in diplomacy kicking in. This was not about exploring anymore. This was about meeting a species that had been gone for a long time. Longer than any city or country we know today has been around. Every single word Thalen said mattered when it came to this contact with the species. The man told us that he wants to help. He said we should talk to the Survey Council about what's bothering us. They can be the people in the middle between us and the other groups, with power. The Survey Council can get the galaxy ready for humanity to come back. They want to make sure that when humanity comes back they will have friends and not enemies. The Survey Council can do this so humanity will be safe when they return to the galaxy. Sentinel did not say anything for a long time. Then something changed on the view screen. A single ship was moving away from the fleet. This ship was smaller than the warships, but it was still really big, about 5 times as big as the Pathfinder. The Pathfinder is a lot smaller than this ship, and this new ship is pretty impressive even if it is not as big as the warships. The ship that detached from the fleet is what caught my attention. This ship is a lot like the other ships, but it is also different because it is smaller. The main fleet is still there. Now this single ship is moving on its own, and that is what is showing on the view screen, the single ship that is moving away from the main fleet, which is where the Sentinel is watching from. I'm going to work with Commander Thalen. I'm okay with his help. He needs to know something. I have been waiting for a long time, more than 500,000 years, to do what I was made to do. I will make sure humanity is safe. If I think waking up my creators will hurt humanity, I will wait a long time, even another 500,000 years. And if someone tries to hurt the humans who are sleeping or take their technology, this fleet will fight back with all its might. It will do what it was made to do. It was like the universe wanted to make a point. Power suddenly flowed into the warships. The lights on these ships started to blink on and off. The parts of the ships that were used for fighting, which had been quiet for a long time, began to shine with a lot of energy that was barely being held back. The warships were really coming to life now. Power was surging through the warships. This was a big deal. The warships were getting ready to do something. Thalen swallowed hard. His scales moved because he was really scared. I understand, Sentinel. We just want to be at peace and work together. The people of humanity should be able to wake up to a galaxy where they're safe. Then we begin, Sentinel said. Follow my escort ship to a place where we can land on Earth. You need to see some things and understand them before we do anything. The future of humanity and the whole galaxy depends on what we decide to do in the few days. We have to make some choices, and they are very important for the Earth and the galaxy. The Pathfinder turned to follow the escort ship toward the blue planet below, and Commander Thalen knew that his routine survey mission had just become the most important diplomatic endeavor in modern history. Somewhere beneath the surface of that ancient world, 1 billion humans slept, unaware that after 500,000 years, the time for their awakening was finally approaching. The Awakening Protocol. The Pathfinder went down into the Earth's atmosphere. It was following the Sentinel's escort ship towards the surface of the Earth. Commander Thalen looked out the window, saw the clouds moving apart. This showed him the landscapes of the Earth that were really amazing. The Pathfinder and the Earth's landscapes were something to see. The big oceans sparkled under the sun. The continents were under the oceans. They were covered in wild forests and grasslands. Commander Thalen did not see any cities on the Earth. He did not see any lights. The Earth did not seem to have anyone living there now. The Pathfinder and Commander Thalen were still looking at the Earth. The planet looks empty, Van. She moved her 4 arms around to show the really nice and clean land down below. Where are the places where the humans live, the settlements? Sentinel's voice came through the ship's speakers. Said, people closed off their cities before they went to sleep. The Earth system still worked to keep the cities okay. The Earth itself has gone back to how it was before. What you see now is the Earth the way it is supposed to be, with no people messing with it for over 500,000 years. The Earth is like this because humanity sealed their cities and stopped taking care of the surface, so nature took over. Now the Earth is undisturbed by humanity. The escort ship took them to a mountain range where really big doors had swung open on the side of one of the mountains. These doors were huge. They could have fit a ship 10 times big as theirs. When they went through the doors, the lights turned on by themselves, lighting up a room under the ground that was so big they could not see the end of it. The escort ship guided them deeper into this underground room. The hangar was really vast, and it was full of the escort ship's lights. Sentinel told me to land on the platform they picked out. The people at the facility got everything for me to show up. The air inside is just right for something like me to be in. Thalen told his crew to put on their suits just in case. Sentinel said everything was fine. Thalen was not so sure. They had no idea what kind of trouble they might find in a place that had been locked up for 500,000 years. The ship landed nicely. When they got out, they were standing in a big room that looked like it was frozen in time. Thalen and his crew were really careful because they did not know what to expect in this facility. The hangar was really clean. The metal floors were so smooth that they reflected the lights from above, and the walls had complicated patterns on them. These patterns might have been there just to look nice. They might have actually done something. Everything in the hangar was huge, which made me think that people had planned for a lot of humans and machines to be in this place. The hangar was clearly built for things like lots of people and big equipment, which is why everything was so large. Sentinel said, "Welcome to Sanctuary 7. Then a picture of a man appeared in front of them. This man had skin and nice eyes. You could see through the picture, but it looked really real. Sentinel said, "I made this picture to help us talk easier. I picked a face that looks like a person so it is easier for people like you to talk to machines like me. The human face helps people understand machines like me better. Sanctuary 7 is where we are. I will be talking to you here." Thalen said, "You do us a favor by doing this." He tilted his head down to show respect. "We are ready to learn from you whatever you want to teach the people of our group, the things you wish to share with the people of our group." The holographic Sentinel. A doorway opened in the far wall. Follow the Sentinel. The Sentinel has a lot to show you and not a lot of time to waste. Days ago the Sentinel sent a signal to the other sanctuaries in this system. The Sentinel said the awakening protocols have started now. Kelf's mouth was really moving up and down when he said, "You are going to wake them?" He was totally surprised. "You said you needed to look at what is going on in the galaxy right now first." Kelf said this because he did not understand what was going on with the decision to wake them. He thought they were going to wait and see what happens in the galaxy before they do anything with them. Sentinel said, "I have been thinking about this for a long time," as he walked with them down a really long hallway. "When you got here, that gave me the piece of information I needed. You are a people, you travel around because you are curious, not because you want to fight. You represent a group of worlds that work together in peace. This is what people were hoping to find when they finally woke up. A lot of things are different in the galaxy now. Maybe that is a good thing. The galaxy has changed. Maybe it has changed for the better. The galaxy has really changed, but perhaps humanity will find that it has changed for the better." Thalen walked through these corridors where the walls had pictures of what human life was like before the sleep. The humans came in all colors and sizes. They did all sorts of things, from stuff to really amazing things. Humans built tall buildings, made art that made people feel things deeply no matter what kind of being they were, and they looked up at the stars with the same sense of wonder that made Thalen's own people want to explore the universe. Thalen saw humans doing all these things. It was really interesting. The humans were just like Thalen's people. They liked to look at the stars and dream big. "People are really different," Sentinel said. "Humanity is made up of people who look different and talk different. They speak a lot of languages, thousands of them. They believe in a lot of different things. Even with all these differences, humanity is connected by their desire to learn and their will to keep going. When humanity was in trouble and might not make it, they picked hope instead of giving up." Thalen walked into a room and the walls were like glass, so he could see a lot of big cylindrical pods. These pods went on and on into the distance. Each one of these pods had a blue glow. Inside the pods, Thalen saw the shapes of humans who were sleeping. The humans were sleeping inside the pods. Sentinel said this quietly. "There are 50 million people in this facility. Each one of these people will not get hurt. The facility keeps their bodies in shape at a very small level. These people do dream. Not like we do. Their minds are working. Only a little bit. They have memories, so they do not get upset from being asleep for so long. The memories are like simulations. This helps prevent things from happening to their minds because they are asleep for such a long time." Ven walked up to one of the pods. Her medical knowledge helped her to be brave. She looked at the information on the pod. Her eyes got big as she understood what it meant. "This is amazing technology. It can keep cells healthy, watch what is happening in the brain, and fix problems on its own. The Survey Council does not have anything like this. The people inside could sleep for a long time if they need to. The technology of these pods is really something. The pods have systems that can keep people alive for a long time." Ven thought that the pods were very interesting and she wanted to learn more about them and the technology they use. "Forever is a long time," Sentinel said. "The people have been asleep for a long time. Now it is time for them to wake up. The awakening of humanity will happen in steps. First, a few important leaders and specialists will wake up. They will look at what's going on in the world. Then slowly the rest of humanity will wake up over years. This has to be done carefully. If everyone wakes up fast, it will be too much for us to handle, and it will be very upsetting for the people who are waking up." Thalen felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. He said, "Sentinel, I have to tell my government about this. The whole Survey Council has to know about this. This discovery is really big. It is the thing that has ever happened. We cannot keep the discovery of the Sentinel a secret. The Survey Council and my government need to know about the discovery of the Sentinel." Sentinel told him that he does not want him to keep this to himself. Actually, Sentinel wants him to tell lots of people about this. The galaxy needs to know that humanity is coming back. But there are some rules that come with this. The rules are for the information about humanity's return. The hologram looked really serious. "I want some promises from the players around here before the first human even wakes up. They have to agree not to hurt humanity, not to make humans slaves, and not to take advantage of them. I need to see maps of the stars that recurrent. I need to know how the different governments work together, and I need to know the rules for talking to other countries. The important thing is that I need to know that Earth and this whole system will still belong to humans. The hologram is talking about humanity and what humanity needs. Humanity needs to be safe. The hologram wants to make sure that humanity will be okay." Thalen started to say something. "That seems reasonable," he said. Then Sentinel held up his hand to make Thalen stop talking. "There is more to this story. Humanity is going to wake up to a galaxy that has changed a lot without them. The technology they have is really good in some ways. It might be old news in other areas. They will need some time to get used to everything, to learn things and to build their world again. While they are trying to do all this, the fleet will still be ready to act. If anyone tries to hurt humanity, the fleet will stop them with a lot of force. Humanity will be protected. The fleet will make sure humanity is safe during this time. Kelf stepped forward. His eyes, which were made up of parts, reflected the blue light of the special pods that were holding people in a state of sleep. Sentinel, you have to see things from our point of view, he said. Your fleet is made up of thousands of warships. Each one of these warships is capable of destroying planets just based on how they were designed. A lot of governments are going to be scared of you no matter what you say about coming in peace. The Kelf fleet with all its warships will be seen as a threat to people. The Sentinel fleet, which is what you call it, will be viewed with suspicion. Many governments will look at the Sentinel fleet, think that it is a danger to them because of all the warships that are in it. I get why they are scared, Sentinel said. I was made to keep humanity safe. That is what I will do. I'm not being stubborn. When humanity is awake and part of the galaxy community, we can make the military fleet smaller. Use it for something else. Until then, the fleet will stay ready to go. The group went on with their tour. They walked through rooms where machines were all set to make things that people would need when they woke up. These machines were ready to make anything. The group saw places where food was grown. There were seeds from a lot of plants, about 10,000 kinds, waiting to be planted. They also visited buildings that were like libraries. These libraries had all the things that people know, all the art that people made, and all the culture of humanity. All these things were saved in ways that would last a long time. Even 1,000,000 years if that is what it took. The libraries had all of knowledge. Rin asked this question. She sounded really young and amazed. How did they make all this happen? I mean, they had to plan everything, build a lot of things, and make sure everyone worked together. They had to do all this to make an entire species fall asleep. It seems like it is just not possible for them to do something like that. The planning and construction and coordination that was required to put a species to sleep is really hard to understand. Rin thought that it is impossible for anyone to do something like this. Sentinel said it was almost impossible. The few years before the big sleep were really crazy. Not everyone thought it was an idea. Some people decided to leave on ships to find a better life in other galaxies. Others did not want to sleep and stayed awake. They knew they would die. They wanted to live as long as they could. The billion people who are sleeping here are the ones who loved Earth, who thought their home planet was worth waiting for. They really believed in Earth. They walked into a room that was like the brain of the whole operation. This room had lots of screens that showed what was going on at every single sanctuary. Sentinel could make these screens do what he wanted by thinking about it. He brought up much information that it would take Thalen's crew a really long time to understand everything that the screens were showing. The screens were showing the status of every sanctuary in the system, and Sentinel was looking at all of this information with ease. The first awakening is going to happen in 72 hours, Sentinel said. Sentinel has picked 100 people from safe places. There are scientists and diplomats and military leaders and philosophers and artists. These people show what humanity is like. The people Sentinel has chosen will wake up first, see what is going on, and help Sentinel make decisions about when to wake everyone up. May we be there when they wake up? Thalen asked. We are representatives of the Survey Council, so we should be present to greet them. This is a chance for us to start building a connection between the Survey Council and their people. We want to begin building the bridge between the Survey Council and their people. Sentinel thought about this for a moment. His holographic form flickered a little as he thought about a lot of things. Okay, I think you can help the person who wakes up understand what is going on. The galaxy is really different now. But I want to warn you, this person is going to be very confused and maybe even scared. It is hard to believe that much time has passed. 500,000 years is a really long time. Even if you knew you were going to sleep for that long, it is still hard to understand. The first awaken will have to deal with the fact that the galaxy has changed a lot. 500,000 years is a lot to take in. Over the 3 days, Thalen sent detailed reports back to the Survey Council. These reports from Thalen caused a commotion among the 12-member species. The Survey Council had to act, so they called emergency meetings and picked ambassadors in a hurry. They even made drafts of treaties quickly. Everyone was excited about humanity's return, and they all wanted to be a part of it so they could say they helped welcome humanity to the galactic civilization, to the community of the 12-member species, and to the world of humanity and the other species. The return of humanity was a deal, and everyone wanted some credit for being part of this big event, for being friends with humanity. There were also some concerns. The military powers in the region, which were civilizations that were not part of the Survey Council, decided to send their ships to see what was going on. In 2 days, more than 200 ships from different governments showed up in the system, and they all wanted something. Information, access, or some kind of assurance from the Survey Council. The military powers of the region were getting really anxious to know what was happening. Sentinel handled the situation well. The old warships moved to positions, making a strong wall around Earth and the other safe places. If any ship came close, Sentinel gave them a clear warning and got ready to fight. After what happened to the captain who tried to push his way and nobody else wanted to test Sentinel. This captain found out that Sentinel could shut down his ship systems in a few seconds. Sentinel was in control. People knew it. The warships stayed in place protecting Earth and the other safe places, and Sentinel made sure that everyone followed the rules. On the day, Thalen and his senior crew members were standing in a medical room deep inside Sanctuary 7. They were looking at a pod that had a clear cover. Inside the pod was a woman. The woman had hair that was floating around her in the liquid that was keeping her alive. Her face looked really calm, like she was sleeping. Thalen and his senior crew members were looking at the woman in the pod. The woman was still like she was in a deep sleep. Thalen and his crew were in the room looking at the woman in the special pod, at Sanctuary 7. "This is Dr. Sarah Chin," Sentinel said. Dr. Sarah Chin was an important person who studied living things from other worlds. Dr. Sarah Chin was on a team that made plans for the Great Sleep. Dr. Sarah Chin wanted to wake up so she could help her people get through the changes that were coming. "Why did you choose her?" Ven asked. She was really curious about the side of things. She spent her whole career learning about species, trying to figure out what makes alien life tick and find something that we all have in common. If anyone can handle the fact that the galaxy's not what it used to be, it is her. Sentinel paused. Beginning revival sequence now. The pod's lights changed from blue to green. Fluid started to drain out. It got warmer inside the pod. Thalen was really interested in what was happening. He saw the human skin get its color back and her chest started to move down when she breathed. It took a time, almost an hour, but then the pod finally opened with a soft hiss. Thalen saw the human in the pod and he thought about what the pod was doing to the human. The human was inside the pod. The pod was helping the human, and now the pod was opening. Dr. Chen's eyes slowly opened. She looked up at the ceiling for a moment. She was really confused. Then Dr. Chen tried to sit up. Her muscles were very weak because they had not been used for a long time, 500,000 years. The Sentinel's hologram was suddenly there, beside Dr. Chen. His voice was gentle and very reassuring. "Welcome back, Dr. Chen. The sleep went well. Everything is okay. You are safe now, Dr. Chen." "Sentinel?" Her voice was hoarse and uncertain. "How long?" 523,847 years have gone by. The cascade has gone. The Earth is still here. Now the Earth has visitors. Dr. Chin turned her head slow, her eyes looking right at Thalen and his crew. She just stood there for a bit staring at them. She was taking a look at the weird things about them, like the way they looked in their odd bodies. Then something unexpected happened. Dr. Chin smiled at Thalen and his crew. The woman said this in a quiet voice. "You are real," she said. "There are kinds of living things out there. There are groups of people like us. We are not the ones in the universe anymore." The woman started crying. It was not because she was scared or unhappy. She was crying because she was so happy. "We did it," she said. "People did it." Thalen stepped forward slowly. He wanted to look like he meant no harm. "Dr. Chin, my name is Commander Thalen and I am from the species. I am here for the Galactic Survey Council and 12 other peaceful civilizations. We want to welcome you to the galaxy. A lot of things are different now, but the Galactic Survey Council and these 12 peaceful civilizations, including the species, are here to be friends with you. Dr. Chin and the Vorian species is happy to be a part of this." The woman reached out with a hand and Thalen took it in his hand that had scales on it. This was a thing, just a touch between two people from different worlds and different times. At that moment something big happened. The human woman and Thalen made a connection between the days of humanity and the galaxy as it is now. The human woman and Thalen were from different places, but in that moment they were connected. "Friends," Dr. Chin said again. She could not help but smile even though she was crying. The idea of friends is really all that Dr. Chen and the others ever wanted. Dr. Chen and the others did not run away because they believed in friends. They went to sleep instead. They did this because they thought that one day the galaxy would be a place where friends could really exist. Dr. Chen meant that different species could be friends, like how people re-friends with each other. As the hours passed, more people started to wake up. They were all confused at first, then they realized what was going on. Finally they accepted it. Some people cried, some people just sat there quietly thinking about what was happening to them. But they all had one thing in common. They all had hope. The people had hope. Hope was what they all shared. As the 100th human came out of suspension, Sentinel called everyone together in the command chamber. The humans who had just woke up stood together helping each other because their bodies had been asleep for a long time. Thalen and his crew were standing near them ready to answer the humans' questions and help them if they needed it. The humans were still getting used to their bodies and Thalen and his crew were there to support them. Sentinel said to the humans, his form standing up straight and looking very proud. You people were sleeping while the galaxy was getting older. You believed in me to keep you safe. I did what you trusted me to do. Now you are waking up to a time when your wish for a peaceful galaxy has happened in a lot of ways. There are problems that we will have to deal with and choices that we have to make. We have to rebuild our whole civilization. The humans do not have to face these things by themselves. Sentinel is with the humans. We have allies, new friends who will help us. These new friends will show us the way. Help guide the allies forward. The allies and our new friends will work together. Dr. Chin stepped forward to talk for the group. Her voice was stronger now even though she still needed to lean on someone for support. Sentinel, you have done much for us. You have given the people in the group their future back. Then she turned to face Thalen. You, Commander, you and the people who work with you have given us hope. You have shown us that the galaxy we are going to wake up to is a place that is worth waking up for. The galaxy is going to be a place because of what you and the people who work with you have done. Sentinel has done a job and so have you, Commander, and the people who work with you. Looked around at the other people, seeing that they were all determined just like Thalen had seen in the old pictures that Sentinel had shown them. We have a lot to learn. It is going to take a long time. People have never given up when things get tough. We slept for a long time, 500,000 years, because we did not want to leave our home. Now people are ready to join the rest of the galaxy, not to take over or to run away, but to work together with other species to make a better life for everyone. The humans. You could hear their voices all around the chamber. It was like they had a lot of energy even though they had been sleeping for a time. Thalen felt an emotion and his scales turned red. This was something that Vorians did when they saw something important and special. His crew members were feeling the way, they were just showing it in different ways because they were all from different species. The humans were cheering the Vorians like Thalen were getting scales and everyone else was reacting in their own way. As the party kept going, Sentinel took Thalen to the side. The face of Sentinel, which was like a hologram, looked happy. At least it seemed that way because it is hard to tell if a machine like Sentinel can really feel happy. I want to thank you, Commander. The fact that you are here and that you are willing to trust us and help us means a lot. The other governments are still a bit nervous. They are not really sure what to do, but they can see that we can have peace. They can see that it is possible for us to work together, Commander. Your help has made a difference and it has shown the other governments that cooperation is possible with Commander. Thalen said, what happens now? He really wanted to know what was going to happen. Thalen was waiting for an answer to his question about what happens. Sentinel said, now we make a plan. We will wake up humans slowly. We will talk to the governments that want to work with us. We will start to rebuild the world. The fleet will not be on alert anymore, but it will still be ready. Earth will welcome visitors. We will be careful and respectful. Humanity will take its steps into the galaxy and the galaxy has learned to be peaceful. We are talking about humanity taking these steps into a galaxy that knows how to live in peace. The humans will see that the galaxy is a place. Thalen looked out through the walls of the chamber and saw the Earth far away above them. This was the planet where people were born and where they had stayed to wait for something to happen. That something better had finally. Thalen saw the first people laughing and crying and hugging each other because they were so happy. Thalen knew that Earth people were starting a part of their story in the galaxy. The Earth was a part of this new story and Thalen felt lucky to see it begin. Somewhere in orbit there are thousands of warships that are still keeping a close eye on things. Now these warships are watching over people who are finally waking up and getting ready to explore the stars. The long sleep is over. The future looks uncertain, but it also looks pretty hopeful for everyone. The people are waking up. The warships are still there watching over humanity as they take their place among the stars once more. Commander Thalen smiled, his scaled face crinkling in the Vorian expression of joy. His routine survey mission had become something far more important. The day humanity returned to the galaxy. And he had been there to welcome them home.